ախլեր Սուրբ եկեղեցի։ Այո, ուրախ են Հայաստանից եկեղեցվո հավատացյալները շնորհավորելու Դանիել Ձարակուն վարդապետ Ֆնդիկյանի ընտրությունը։ Ամերիկյան թիմի առաջնորդ ընտրության լուրը հայտարարվեցավ պատգամավորական ժողովի ընթացքին մայիս 4-ին։ Սակայն այս վիդեոյով շատերուն առաջին անգամն է, որ պիտի լսեն եւ պիտի ոգևորվին նոր առաջնորդի խոսքերով։ Աղոթքով, հավատքով եւ նվիրումով բոլորս միասնաբար օգտակար դառնալով հայր Դանիել Ֆնդիկյանի նոր առաջնորդ ամերիկահայ առաջնորդարանի մենք միասնաբար հավատացյալներ եկեղեցվոյ վասկի պիտի գերդենք նոր արշալույս։
To be honest, at this moment, just a couple of hours after the election, I'm not quite sure I know what to say. I'm deeply, deeply moved. I'm deeply honored to be elected as the primate-elect of this diocese. This Eastern Diocese is a historic diocese of the Church, a precious diocese, a singular diocese and community of the Armenian Church. I only pray that the Lord will guide me personally to bring to bear everything that I can, that the Lord bring our entire diocese, all of our faithful together. What I know is that the Lord is at work. What I know is that my faith is in God. What I know is that we have enormous resources, good people, talented people, faithful people in our church. I'm not doing this alone, and I cannot and will not do this alone. I depend on my brother clergy. I depend on our marvelous communities and parishes. I'm going to look to the young people more than they have been asked to participate. I will be looking to them for leadership, really, and for freshness, and for ideas, and for out-of-the-box thinking. And we'll see what we can do, and the rest is in God's hands. Կսպասեմ անտիբիլ ձանոթանալ, ես Ամերիկա ծնած եմ, ես զավակ եմ այս թեմին, այս թեմեն ներս ծնած եմ, մեծացած եմ, օգտված եմ բոլոր այս թեմին մեծ եւ հրաշալի աշխատանքներուն, դարիներու ընթացքին, ասեն 50 տարի է ավելի կփավի այչափ եւ պատրաստ եմ ամենուն հետ համագործակցի։ Աղոթեցեք ինձ համար գխնդրեմ, աղոթեցեք մեր համայն ժողովրդի համար եւ մանավանդ քանդակի մարերով։
Առաջնորդ Սրբազան հայր, Դագադին առաջնորդ եք Սրբազան։ Եվ կերաչնորդ և սիրելի Նաթան Սրբազան, հոգեշնոր և արժանապատիվ, հոգևոր եղբայրներ, պատվավոր հյուրեր և սիրելի ժողովուրդ։ I'm still a little bit stunned by the turn of events today, which I before about a week ago, never even would have imagined in my wildest dreams. So you'll forgive me if my words don't flow as nicely as they sometimes do. It's been quite a day, and it's been quite a week in the life of Armenians throughout the world. Mr. Setrakian reminded us, as if we need to be reminded, of the peaceful revolution that's taking place in our homeland. Unbelievable. We had a clergy conference this week here in this hotel. All of the clergy of our diocese gathered, and in between sessions where we talked about opioid addiction and all kinds of other pressing issues that touch on our people here in this diocese, my brothers and I were glued to the live stream of what's happening in Armenia. Utterly incredible, utterly unbelievable. And always, and each one of us, with great trepidation, we said, God forbid, let not a drop of blood be shed. And indeed, a government was turned over, a prime minister was forced to resign, and there are new horizons opening for our people, for which we pray profoundly. Who would have thought just 10 days ago or so that such a thing would even happen? And here on our shores, we had an equal kind of peaceful revolution when out of nowhere, just a little over a week ago, my brother clergy and I opened our emails at about 6:15 in the evening and found, utterly unexpected, a letter from our primate of 28 years informing us that through a period of prayer and contemplation, he has decided to retire from a vast and rich and generous and humble and powerful and dynamic and visionary career and calling as the shepherd of this most historic and precious and singularly unique diocese of the Armenian Church. Some of us remain stunned by this, and that opened the path and the need for our leadership to think about where this diocese would go now that our leader, the only leader that many of us have known in this diocese, is stepping down and opening up the path for someone else to come in. And then today, an election, legal election within our diocese according to our bylaws, 3 outstanding servants of this church, and the junior among them, the least in experience, the least in many qualifications, was elected by the assembly of our delegates and clergy to serve as primate of this diocese. People look at these 3 events and they say, what a rapidly changing time for the Armenian people throughout the world, in the homeland and here on the shores of America. How remarkable, how exciting, and how coincidental. And yet, through the eyes of faith, we see the hand of God. We see the hand of God at work among our people, the way the hand of God has been at work among our people for 2,000 years. But it takes faith to see that. And that's the hardest thing. We can dismiss this whole thing as a phenomenal chapter in what will be the history of the Armenian people in the 21st century. Maybe at some point in time it'll be nothing more than a footnote. And yet for those that have a speck, a mustard seed of faith, what's happening is truly awesome. And still other things have been going on this week that are just as awesome. We're gathered here this evening to pay, not for the last time, our respect and our love to a truly remarkable man who has served this diocese, and we will have other occasions to do that, and to reflect on his incredible ministry to this diocese and to the Armenian Church globally. A man whose name will be much more than a footnote in the history of the Armenian Church in America. We're gathered here to recognize dignified men who have dedicated much of their time and energies and thought and heart for the good of the Armenian people. I just had the great occasion to meet Dr. Stephen Smith, and I look forward to working with him in the future for his remarkable work, his remarkable humanitarian work, which is of global significance and import. And Baron Mangasarian, whom I've met in the past very briefly, I enjoyed the opportunity to meet you this evening and to thank you for your wonderful, wonderful contributions to our church. And what can one say about Mr. and Mrs. Nazarian? I will share one little note. When I joined and entered the St. Nersa Seminary as a seminarian, having graduated college in 1985, you can do the math, I was a rather wet behind the ears, kind of cocky young guy from Binghamton, New York, half Armenian. I spoke in those days, about 9 words of Armenian. And in my first day of classes, the first class, Dr. Samuelian said, "This is the letter I, and it makes the sound ah." That was my first day of my career at seminary, 1985. And in those first weeks when I came into the seminary, there were, of course, classmates, senior classmates. Some of them are here today. And people said, we're talking about Uncle Nazar. who's Uncle Nazar? Here I am from Binghamton, New York. What do I know? Who's Uncle Nazar? And why is he uncle? And I found out very quickly that having joined the seminary as a seminarian, I had also been adopted by Mr. and Mrs. Nazarian and by a phenomenal benefactor of this church, a phenomenal son of the Armenian church and Armenian people and the Armenian nation, one who loves the church with all his heart and will give and has given with all his heart to every significant Armenian institution of this country and abroad, and he's my uncle. God help me. Dear Didi Nazarian, God bless you. God bless you for your love and your commitment and your faith in a half Armenian kid from Binghamton, New York, like me and my classmates of those days, and years later for what you've done for St. Nersa Seminary, for our diocese, for Holy Echnazim, for the AGBU, for the Armenian nation. God bless you, and for God reward you. Well, we have a lot of work to do, and we'll get to it. We need, all of us, probably a good night's sleep. Starting next week, we have a lot of work to do. Be prepared. God bless you all, and thank you.
It gives me great honor and privilege to present Nazar and Artemis Nazarian with the St. Vartan Cathedral Golden Anniversary Medals.